Sit, Turntbucke, sit. Good boy. Ruff.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. All engine running. Liftoff.
Cutting a promo, ladies and gentlemen. Going to give you guys a quick recap of my thoughts on what happened in Clash in Paris, as well as what my thoughts are going to happen from here on out, especially in one program in particular. My overall thoughts for the PLE, pretty good. I was okay. I was okay with what occurred on it. It wasn't their greatest, but I believe that there was some stuff there that could have easily began a could light up a spark of possibly giving me some kind of interest of returning to full-time viewership with WWE. But once again, it's one of those instances where they give you a little bit and then they'll take it all away because they tend to forget what the creativity is about and what are we trying to put together. You know, it just becomes long-winded and it becomes a drag of storylines and angles because, you know, they want to lead you to the PLEs. They don't, like I mentioned earlier, they don't care about giving you guys solid or, you know, entertaining television shows. The only television show right now that's from WWE that's actually flourishing a little bit more is not TNA, which by the way, TNA is actually pretty good too. But no, it's NXT. NXT is the only show that's showing some promise in becoming a more entertaining program and such. But as for what's going on with the two main shows, it's like, you know, we're dead in the water. But after Clash in Paris, there is some interest that could spark possibly a few rivalries that could actually bring wrestling fans back to the fold. I'm just going to cover the matches quickly. We have Roman Reigns versus Bronson Reed. Both these men did, you know, phenomenally well on the open jerk, the curtain jerk of the opening match. I do have to say that Roman looked like the Roman of old. He didn't look like the Roman of the past year or two where he just seemed as though like he was just using, you know, paint by numbers moves. He looked as though that he was a little bit more engaged in this match. There was a lot of power moves. Bronson Reed looked like a star here, as well as he should. And, you know, it just made me think of him back in his Jonah days when he was just on a come up. I'm not upset with the finish. Roman gets the win here, but the aftermath was needed, and it just basically showcased on how massive Bronson Reed is. The Vision also could be a threat. Sorry, guys. I'm still getting over a cold. It's just like sometimes stuff get caught up. Yeah, the Vision looks still like a powerhouse, and just to see that how they totally demolished everybody after the match was a thumbs up for me. I loved it 100%. After that, we heard that Bronson and Braun Breaker would be removed from the arena, which will leave Seth Rollins alone in the ring for his match later on. Next up, we get a tag team match for the WWE Tag Team Championship. We have the Wyatt Six versus the Street Profits. I thought this was actually going to be a great match, probably low-key a match of the evening, but it was a disappointment. Just probably went too short for me, and I was not pleased on how everything resulted. The just 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 didn't have the oomph factor of the matches. I love the Wyatt Six. I think Dexter Loomis and Joe Gacy as a tag team are great. The chemistry is solid. You know, you can see the tandem tag team work in there, and of course, with the Street Profits, you know, I guess they're teasing some kind of breakup. Don't know why it's not needed. I hate to see tag teams just break up with stupid I'm mad at you angles. Just like, if you're gonna break up, just break up. Just go your separate ways and say, hey guys, it's time for us to do single things, and let's do that. So I'm okay with that. But now it's just like we're teasing something else. Next up, by the way, they looked cool with the Borderlands 4 outfits. I thought that was a good look. Next up, we had for the WWE's Intercontinental Championship, we have Becky Lynch versus Nikki Bella in a woof. This was horrible. By God, this was bad. Yeah, there's not much to say about this. Nikki didn't look good. Becky looked flat. There was nothing there, and the finish was piss poor. Not happy with this match. Just dreadful. Next up in the good old fashioned Donnybrook match, we had Sheamus versus Rusev. Brought the show back up. I thought this was a fantastic match. You would consider lazy booking when you're using a lot of the apparatuses, the weapons and such. But I thought for these two men, it worked very well. We've already seen them have their singles match. Now we're going to step it up a notch. And Rusev looked fantastic. Well, Sheamus looked great here as well. I was not disappointed with this match. I thought these guys went through hell with each other, and I will not be surprised if we see another one down the line. I actually have a comment later on about these two gentlemen and more, but I'll save that for after my review. So Rusev gets the win here by submission, shocking. And I believe both men looked great, and no one was damaged by this match. Next up, we have Logan Paul versus John Cena. So I mentioned in the previous segment a couple of days ago, I released that, because of guys like Logan Paul is the reason why people believe that any celebrity could just come in and fill a role in wrestling, that they could just do whatever a wrestler can do, a person who's been seasoned and been in business for many years. This is why in this instance, Logan Paul gets the respect that he's getting from many individuals because of the way that he handles himself in the ring. John Cena looked probably even better than before in his previous matches. I think the last one would equate to what he looked like in this match. I just thought it ran a little bit too long. I'm sorry, but I don't think that Logan should have gotten over 25 minutes. They went 26-20 here. I don't think he should have gotten that long. I know there's other people going, well, John Cena is the greatest of all time. How the fuck he's going to last almost 30 minutes with Logan Paul? I can get that. You could have taken that match, shaved off 10 minutes, and you still would have had a solid match. You still could have had, the false finishes. You could have had all that there. I would have shaven 10 minutes off, but in either case, this was a great match as well. Fans were captivated, and of course, this was a match that Cena wanted to do because he wanted to put Logan over, and sure enough, he did. So John Cena gets the win here, and finally, for the Fatal 4-Way for the World Heavyweight Championship, we get CM Punk, Jey Uso, LA Knight versus Seth Rollins, who is their incumbent champ. You go into this match and you're just, everybody's not liking each other, or that not everyone's trusting each other. Jay's kicking Punk. Punk is slamming LA Knight. Everybody's is having their own agenda, which is fine. This is what it's supposed to be. I get it. And, the outcome is, somebody is going to eat the pin because we knew that Seth was going to retain. We got that. But what we got from this outcome was two of the men were put out, and which was left with Seth and Punk. And what we got from that was a surprise entrance in the hood. Shocker. Like, we didn't know that these things were going to be happening once again. But since, the Vision was taken out and Paul Heyman was taken out as well. And who's under the hood? It's Seth Rollins' wife. Excuse me. Seth Rollins, Becky Lynch came out under the hoodie. So, no shock here. I actually am a fan of this. We finally getting something that we probably fans have been clamoring for a while. Is like, they're married. Why aren't they in each other's, programs? This makes sense. I would have probably preferred to have seen Bianca and Montez do this first, but I guess is what we see now is what we get, which is fine. And Seth Rollins, he retains with 24-29 in this match. Now, as for what I mentioned before, my just quick synopsis of what I think should be going on here, going forth with this program until we get to WrestlePalooza and probably even to a Survivor Series. You got a solid, especially for Raw, you have a solid mid-card male division. Solid. You got the likes of Rusev, Sheamus, Bronson Reed, Braun Breaker. You have Penta. You got a whole litany of guys that are in that division. Dominic, who could be just in a scramble for that IC title. It just screams of opportunity to make that mid-card flourish. The rivalries that could easily intertwine and meet each other. It definitely could speak volumes of what you can do to help elevate that title. Dominic is, he's been, well, now with AJ being involved in it as well, like El Gran Americano, Chad Gable, that whole division just lights up, and you can do so much with that. And I see that they've been teasing it. I see that they've been, placing the railroad tracks so that it could start intertwining and intervening. But I wanted to see how they are going to be able to make it all make sense at the end. This is what we are building for. Like, where are we going to see where all these bodies that are involved in this mid card are going to finally clash and make something huge happen, and there's a lot going on there. And at the end, I'm hoping that Sheamus finally gets his IC title so he can win his slam and such. But other than that, that division is just built on, I don't know what's happening with the US title. Don't know. I'm gonna have to take a look at how SmackDown is doing and what's happening on that side. But as for what's happening here, I really do believe that there's some meat there for the mid card. As for the storyline angle that's happening with Seth Rollins, Becky Lynch, and CM Punk, and now the possibility with AJ Lee coming in, they're already expecting that she'll be making possibly a return on SmackDown. I'm fine with it. I mean, this is where we pretty much believe that this was going to happen anyway. We thought it was going to happen more sooner than later. But for me, come SmackDown, I wouldn't debut her. I would tease other women that want to fight in CM Punk's corner, especially women that have had beef with Becky. Punk could make an announcement and say, hey guys, I know what you guys want and I've heard it. You guys are chanting it and I totally agree. But unfortunately, the missus will not be able to be a part of this because she does have other responsibilities with other individuals and other businesses, and she won't be available for this. And as much as she wants to be there fighting with me and such, I respectively told her, don't worry about it. We got this. I'll just get someone on the roster. So, you could get women such as like Lyra Valkyria, who's had beef with Bailey. I'm sorry, with Becky. Excuse me, guys. I'm really fighting through this right now. So, I would like to see like a Lyra Valkyria get involved. Not Bailey right now, because Bailey is kind of trying to go. She's going through her own thing, I guess. Maybe someone from SmackDown. We get a female from over there who would help out. Maybe trying to think who would come. Who maybe someone from NXT. He's got a lot of female fans down there from NXT. You could get to come up and want to be a part. And once he singles out who he's going to take as a partner for this match at WrestlePalooza, Becky decides to go on a rampage and starts taking everybody out. And the match at WrestlePalooza becomes a 2-on-1. Damn it. This is just killing me, bro. The match becomes a 2-on-1. It starts off with, and just as they're about to ring the bell, AJ's music hits, and that's when the crowd loses their shit. That's the way I would book it. Let it drag. You know why? Because WWE drags shit anyway. They always drag shit. You never get the feeling in a sense of that, we're gonna get what we want. No, we're not gonna get what they'll tow it, dump it in the junkyard, leave it there for a while, and then finally somebody comes along and say, hey, remember we wanted to do this, and then take it out the scrap heap. So that's my that's the way I will book it. I would wait a couple of weeks, and then once it becomes a 2-on-1 match, no one wants to deal with it because Becky's been going back there and handling business. Then AJ pops out right before the match starts. So that's how I'll book it. That's a Santee booking. Yeah, you take it if you want, WWE. It's just me. But other than that, this is gonna wrap it up here for Cutting a Promo, guys. Make sure you follow us, like and subscribe, be a part of the vibe of all things that's connected to us here. This is now the new home for Turntbucke Tabloid under the New York Wrestle Media umbrella. I want you guys to please support as you did in all the years that we've been here. Now, please be a part of supporting the program here on New York Wrestle Media. So thanks again for you guys for checking in, taking the time. And as always, I'm going to, I got to take some NyQuil or something, or Dayquil, because this is freaking killing me. As always, guys, check you guys in a sec. In a sec.
2, 1, 0. All engine running. Liftoff.
Sit, turn type, sit. Good boy. Ruff.